have opened the tab for meat.
All right. Oh, okay. Oh wait, are we gonna start with meat? Because I've heard people say you're supposed to start with candy.
You're supposed to start with meat because it's the first option.
I'm just gonna go with meat because it's the first option. But like, if you want to do candy first,
well,
that's
here's
fine.
something. We can just there's like 2 sets of us. We could just have 2 open one and then.
Oh god, you're gonna do this fucking Danganronpa 3 style flip flop between the two.
We're not gonna read them side by side. We're gonna do one first and then read the other next.
Okay, wait. Let me do a pop-out chat real quick so that way I can read the chat while. They prefer all candy than all meat. V said they prefer all candy than all of meat. Yeah, V is one of the writers on here. That's why I was saying that we should maybe start with candy first.
Then meat?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I guess we'll start on candy then.
Okay, candy. All right.
Everybody have candy open?
I have it open.
I guess for people who are just now getting to this live stream, we're reading the new epilogue update. We're not reading the first part because we're gonna assume that everyone has already gone and read that. And we're gonna do candy first, and then we're gonna do meat, and we're gonna read it here live for you. And I'm gonna be your narrator.
Wait, do you know if Crab has work today?
I don't know.
That'd be cool if they could join.
What's
today? Oh, wait. For apparently reasons for ending satisfaction during the second run, and it's supposed to be entirely different feeling in a whole run than over. Okay.
Pardon?
These aren't long.
All right.
We need Roxy, John, and Calliope for candy. So.
Oh god. Yeah, I want to ask Crab if they can join.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna need someone decent.
You're saying that I can't do a Roxy impression? How dare you?
Box, do you wanna, or Box, who do you wanna be?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter if you have
like
experience voicing this character in the past. It's fine.
Nothing.
I'm gonna see how many pages candy is.
Okay,
real quick.
I'm adding Crab right now. They said yes.
I'll just be here.
Fuck. That's a bit of a spoiler. Let's see how long.
Yeah,
candy is.
don't read ahead. Don't read ahead.
Candy's really long.
Okay, yeah, that's probably why we're supposed to read that first. Hi.
6 pages.
With us is the #1 Vicari fan in the world, Crab Mom.
Yes,
it's
me.
Guys, I think we're not gonna be able to do both in one run.
I think we can do it. Like we have all day.
Okay, so far I'm just skipping ahead. Candy I'm to page 7 on Candy
Holy
alone,
shit.
and it keeps going.
I have no idea what's happening. What?
We're reading the new epilogue update.
Yeah. Oof. I mean. It's fat oof. We're gonna need someone to be Calliope and Roxy, so.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, we have Roxy.
You're Calliope now, Box. I've assigned you Calliope.
This is my government-assigned kin.
Yeah. I get to be narrator, because Cyber's gonna be Jahan.
I'm Jahan Edgar.
And I'm here because I'm here. Hi. You can't get rid of me forever.
Press. We have a part for you in chat. I'll let you know that there's a part for you in chapter 2.
Isn't Press literally Calliope and Holmes?
No, that's Tatsu. Tatsu's Calliope.
Okay,
yeah. Shout out to Tatsu, best Callies.
I love Tatsuya's Caliber and
Wait, what? We're reading candy? No, we're not reading candy. We're reading meat.
No, we're reading candy. We
Why are we
literally
reading candy?
because the fucking author said to do that. Yeah, reading that one first.
Alright, I'm gonna start now. You guys can fucking get the thing up. Everybody, Crab, you got the thing open?
I sent it in chat. The epilogue.
We're gonna have to add a separate folder for the epilogue now.
We're live reading, boys.
We're live reading, my boys.
My dudes.
Do you wanna...
more. Fuck. Oh.
Yeah, there's a new update today on 420.
You gotta pick candy.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Are we
read Candy.
starting with the first one?
We're starting with
Yes.
Candy, because that's
Candy.
what V said to start with. Crab, can you get close to your mic?
Hello.
There we go.
Hi.
Thank you.
All right.
Hello.
So we're all ready. We all have it up.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
so.
All right. Then I will start reading.
I don't.
Candy was definitely the right choice, John thinks, as he munches thoughtfully on a strawberry swirl mint. It cracks into splinters between his teeth. Incredibly tasty splinters, the consistency of which have absolutely no existential baggage to them. The splinters dissolve quickly, leaving behind the impression they were made of nothing at all, but for a cloying essence determined to linger behind. With some distance from his traumatic anime dreaming, the fantastic mood that he's been walking around with all day seems somewhat melodramatic, embarrassing even. Who has time for nihilism when it's such a beautiful day?
You know what? Maybe
I was
I'll...
waiting for Roxy.
Do you want to read Roxy?
I kind of want.
Read
I
Roxy.
mean, unless
You're
somebody
Roxy.
else is like dying
Yeah,
to
you're
read
Roxy.
I don't think anyone's like ready
I
to
thought
kill.
you were gonna be Roxy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just crab
well,
mom over
I
here
definitely
vibrating
don't know.
intently.
I just feel like Roxy.
I know you do.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe I'll stay after all.
Really?
Yeah, now that I've had some time to think about it, is Lord English really that big of a deal? I mean, I know Rose said it was a big deal, that canon would dissipate if it didn't do it, or whatever that means. Isn't it just as likely that I could mess up a whole bunch of stuff than go back there? The idea of going back in time, or even back into canon or whatever, and fighting this huge battle that serves some vague purpose I'm not even sure I even understand. It feels so heavy. I'm not feeling that heavy suddenly. I feel kind of the opposite, actually. I feel like maybe I don't give a shit? I don't mean it in a bad way, it's just, well, I'm already here, living my life with my friends, and I think I just want to stay here on Earth. Forget I even heard of Lord English and just relax. Is that selfish of me? I don't know, it just seems a lot of responsibility for one person. So maybe instead of taking the fate of everyone's existence in my own hands, I should just stay here and enjoy life.
Even John has to admit his
Rationale?
rationale doesn't sound particularly satisfying. Now that he's reflecting on everything he just said, it really strikes him as a bunch of empty-headed babble. But then again, it's like he was saying, his head does feel lighter. Maybe he doesn't care if his reasoning sucks. Maybe he doesn't care about any of the high stakes or existential gravity related to his conversation with Rose. Maybe he doesn't care about much of anything except the here and the now, the company of his friends, and the pleasant breeze flowing through the park today. He's feeling quite insubstantial when he thinks about it, superficial, and a bit sappy towards his friends. So what if he wants to make an insubstantial, superficial, and sappy decision?
Oh my god, they really are leading into the whole candy thing, aren't they?
It's too sweet.
I just wanted trickster mode. Oh, I'm Calliope. Are you absolutely sure about this, John?
It's fine, you're doing great.
You're doing great, sweetie.
He looks up at the trees, at the sunlight glittering through the crisscross fronds. Has the sky always been that blue? A leaf spirals down lazily and lands on his forehead. He plucks it off and he plucks it off and eats it. He plucks it off and studies the veins running through it. At each fork in the veins, he supposes the leaf as a
It's
whole is
4:20,
making
gotta
a
eat
certain
this
kind of
leaf.
decision to go this way or that. It certainly seems like one way of looking at a leaf, now that he bothers to really scrutinize one. It also seems to him, with just as great a sense of clarity, that not one of the leaf's decisions ever mattered even the tiniest fucking bit to anyone. Not to the tree, not to the world, not even to the leaf itself. He flicks the delicate green metaphor away and flourishes in disdain and sudden conviction.
Yeah, actually, I don't think I've ever been so sure of anything in my life.
Roxy's stoic countenance washes away abruptly, and she lets out a happy squeal. No, that's kind of no, that's kind of a sexiest way to describe it. It's definitely a girly noise, though not what John was expecting. Without warning, she launches herself in his arms.
OMG, John, that's amazing! I am so stoked.
Also, Shay, you read the word sexist as sexiest.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's kind of the sexiest way to describe it.
Ooh.
Hey guys, it's 4:20 and John ate a leaf.
Nice.
Well, I guess you can tell where my mind is now.
Oh my.
Shay, I didn't know you had such a thing for Roxy. I mean, crab.
Oh.
I didn't know that you felt that way about candy.
Shay, I didn't know you liked MILFs. Damn.
Oh.
I can leave.
Well, hey, that's a given for
I
everybody.
can get out if you don't want me here.
The older women are attractive.
Thank you.
She buried her nose in the crook of his neck and started crying. Huh. She's definitely sniffing it a little, and his skin feels wet against hers. John makes incidental eye contact with Calliope when he raises his arm to wrap them around Roxy's back. He startles for a moment, but Callie just looks at him with a big, serene smile on her skull. Ugh. I don't like that word. So, okay, this isn't weird or anything. It's just super intimate physical interaction he's having with her maybe girlfriend right in front of her. It's just that Roxy's been so distant for years, and now John has no idea where the boundaries are drawn. He grins and hugs her back just as hard as she's hugging him. Maybe his friendships aren't as damaged as he'd worried. Maybe it's like his friends were his actual family this whole time, and they were just waiting for him to pick up the phone or come along and hug them. Roxy pulls back and claps excitedly.
Oh, that's me. I'm
Are
sorry.
you ready for a threesome?
I mean, if you say so.
It's gonna be so effing awesome.
I'm just gonna go sit over here in the corner and wait.
No.
Yes, I think that you'll make an excellent choice. I can already feel the aura of what the heck is that word?
Equivocation.
I can already feel the aura of equivocation that has been hanging over these years of all these years fading. I can't do in the Calliope voice.
This is, I will tell everyone watching the stream, this is exactly what the first take of all of our lines sound like.
Basically.
I feel
Oh,
like
you
I
should have
could
heard me recording those RNA lines.
Oh yeah,
I had to take my shirt off.
it was literally just like Box screaming and making visceral noises like every 5 seconds. I can confirm
My
that.
throat was
all of my
dying,
brisket
and I
screaming
swear
out.
to God, I
My
was
God.
trying to hack my throat out.
I
I've spat into a
were
garbage can a
actually
couple of
streaming.
times.
Equivocation.
We are streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The word
sorry. What I mean
equivoc-
is that I think we've all had a hard time moving on from what we experienced in our old universes. Now we can finally put all that ugliness behind us. I'm trying to do Vriska and, Aranea
Just
at
do
the
it.
same
Just
time.
read. Just read.
Do
Read.
your best. You're doing great, sweetie.
Oh, John, this is amazing. I have such big plans for you.
Plans.
Stop asking so many questions, dummy. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we're gonna have a threesome.
We're totes gonna have a threesome, John. It's fine.
I mean, I guess I can show you my meat if you let me eat your candy.
Hi, Dad!
Is this how it always devolves?
Yes.
Every time we read anything together, is this just... This is like Falco and Kuprum all over again.
Oh my fucking god. Let me suck your dick.
Oh yes, fuck my dick, big boy.
We're gonna get
Well,
banned off of
more than
YouTube.
great. But first, there's one last thing.
Your narrator is being sucked away for the purpose
Something
of
that you
chores.
want.
I will be as quick as human,
Someone
you-
that only.
but I will be back.
If you want, I can take over for narrations.
I read Calliope.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
gonna
I'll
do it
be
again.
back as soon as possible.
Press, you wanna take over then?
Yeah, I mean, it gives me something to do, and so
Definitely,
it's sitting
Press,
here.
Please read for us. Please
Yes.
be our narrator.
Okay.
Where am I?
We're on Calliope leans in close.
Okay. Calliope leans in close. The angle of the sun makes it so that she dips into shadow. The sharp recesses of her skeletal face turn those shadows black. For a moment, her voice sounds the way the wind does when it howls through the narrow chasm. Oh, god damn it.
Oh. Oh.
Hold on.
Is this why you wanted me to be here, huh? Turned
You must
away.
free the bard from his prison. You must free the bard from his.
Disconnected. What the fuck? Reconnection
hate
successful.
I hate this so much. I hate this so much. I
What?
hate this. I
Why
don't
wouldn't
know,
Gamzee
I
be able to come out of the fridge?
I don't know, man.
God
I just
said
don't like where
no.
This is going.
God said no.
So like, are they gonna have? No, but he's in the
Keep Gamzee in
future.
the fridge.
But what the fuck? Actually, wait. Why do they have Gamzee still?
Why is Gamzee still in the fridge?
Yeah, because wasn't he absorbed by the
Yeah.
black hole and went into the future?
Oh, hi, I'm back.
Wait, yeah, I don't. Wait, what?
Can someone brief me on what I missed?
Gamzee.
Here?
Calliope's
They're gonna
telling
let
John.
Gamzee out of the fridge.
Calliope's telling John
Calliope
to
wants us.
let out Gamzee.
To release the beast.
Okay, but alright, Shay, it doesn't make sense though, right? The reason why he has like the crowbar is because he was caught in the black hole, and that sent him into the future on like the second Alpha Earth, basically, right? So like, what the fuck? Why do we still have Gamzee?
I don't know, man.
Ask the writers.
I'm confused. Okay. Continue narration.
Narration, you're at, the
Calliope puts her hands together and pulls back.
Yeah.
That's called
Calliope puts her
clapping.
Calliope puts her hands together and pulls back, smiling sweetly. Her voice is sugar sweet again.
Let poor Gamzee out of the fridge, John. The time has come.
But poor Gamzee.
He's surely learned his lesson by now. If we're to turn a new page in the story, we should turn that page for everyone. Gamzee should begin seeking redemption immediately. He suffered enough.
Has he though?
Absolutely.
Are you sure?
Of course.
3 kids gonna die tonight.
John glances at
What?
Rossi, seeking
He's
support.
not
Her
that
smile
bad.
at him benignly, apparently having no opinion whatsoever on this talk. But sure, okay, he
Yikes.
can't help but make a disgusted face at the thought of it, but he shrugs. Why the hell not? He feels lighter, remember? This is something long... I have to go, hold on.
Welcome
If it's time to let go of his long-held worries and hang-ups, then so too it may be time to let loose a long-suffering clown. If it is to be the age of redemption, let it begin. He decides not with a bang, but with a hang.
I hate this so
So,
much.
oh my
Oh
god.
my god!
Okay, wait.
There's Terezi. Sorry, right forward.
Oh my. Okay, wait. I'm thinking about this. I guess like
With a
because-
God damn it.
because okay, keep in mind, John has experienced game over. The rest of them haven't. So like he's seen what Gamzee's gonna do. Like,
Yep.
What Gamzee is capable of doing.
oof.
Alright, are we starting on page 2?
Page 2.
Yeah, Shay, there's, I'm just gonna let
I know. I know what happens.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what happens, but I know who shows up.
Is that why this fucking thing is called Clown Town? Is that why our chat is called Clown Town?
No.
Yes.
Tell me this.
No, we're
No.
Clown Town because everyone in here is a fucking joke.
Basically.
Wow, thanks. Thanks.
Well, you're
that's fair.
I
you're
really
only here
appreciate it.
temporarily. So you're only a joke for right now.
Well, Crab. If it
Wow,
makes you feel better,
thanks.
you being a joke means that you make me smile.
Don't do that.
Alright.
Oh.
John zaps back to the quietest point in the fridge's impressively storied timeline that he can pinpoint, which is
Oh,
on
okay,
the
so he
land
goes
of Toms and
back.
Krypton.
Okay.
T-minus about half an hour before the final battle against every dude they all had to fight to get the hell out of Dodge. As the name of the land would imply, the planet's surface is covered in tombs, each an ancient skyscraper piercing the brilliant gaseous thunderclouds above. But there's only one tomb he's come for, a simple household refrigerator, just like the one he grew up with. He pops into cannon at one end of a rooftop, up so high that the chemical storm coursing through the atmosphere sets his hair on edge. At the other end of the roof are Dirk and Dave, doing something he never thought he'd see. They're hugging. Not just regular non-committal hugging, they are emphatically hugging the shit out of each other. Dave's face is buried in Dirk's side, and Dirk's got both arms around him in a way that looks like he's never actually hugged another human being before.
Oh, honey.
Sensing that this is probably something he shouldn't be seeing, he tiptoes towards Gamzee's would-be sarcophagus and carefully and quietly as he can, places his hands just above the thick aluminum hull. And when John's palms hit the fridge, Dirk turns around and looks at him. His head only moves an inch. Slowly, he lowers one eyebrow and returns to his poignant and deeply personal business with Dave, as if he hasn't observed anything worth acknowledging at all, which John supposes is for the best. He isn't trying them more than he needs to. He's only here to steal a refrigerator that has recently been used to entomb a clown he has parted from, while cleverly leaving the chain wrapping the fridge behind on low tack.
Wait. So, okay, I need to think about this, right? Because if Gamzee doesn't go into the future and doesn't have the crowbar, that means he can't give it to Caliborn, which means that he can't defeat, was it Hephaestus? Which means...
Boner.
Which mean... Oh yeah, it was, Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth, I forgot that. Which means that he can't reach his, like, immortality with the clock.
Well, I guess we'll see where that goes.
It already happened. Oh, gosh.
So, I'm back. Everyone get ready for this fucking guy, I guess.
With the same delicacy that he used to touch the toilet bowl in the public bathroom, he grabbed the handle of the fridge and pulls. Gamzee pops out immediately, sweating, gasping for breath, and smelling like socks that have been worn continuously for 2 weeks straight. John rears back and pinches his nose shut. Calliope shoots John a sharp look, with a stern teacher would.
My arms are crossed and I'm not doing it.
Fucking
you
do
are
it.
not doing it.
Do it.
You're Gamzee. This is your calling.
Is this what I've become now? I've become a clown.
No, you're just a good
Am I the clown of
No,
clown
you're just a
town
talented
now?
voice actor. That's what you
Would you
are.
rather be Byakuya?
This Byakuya doesn't hurt my voice.
That's true. Like, I don't want you to murder yourself. Like, go easy on yourself.
Do you see
I don't like some
Oh.
of the stuff that he says here.
Stop reading ahead.
Alright.
I'm sorry, I can't help. I'm looking at words and my brain just processes them.
Alright. Let me see if I can get into it into a way that doesn't hurt my voice.
We love you, Press.
We will
Yeah. Do I have to do the whole loud honk?
Do it.
You don't have to do it.
Do it.
No. It just do it in a way that hurts your voice least as possible. You don't even really have to be doing games. You just gotta read his shit.
Oh my.
I spit on my screen.
Oh my God, Press. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
That's the level of my ability.
Poor thing.
You're doing so great, sweetie.
You're doing amazing, sweetie. I was concerned. Poor thing. It's all right now. You're all right. Take a moment to catch your breath, Mr. Clown. You'll be just fine.
Oh God, there's more.
Lot of...
Okay, can we skip the like 8 lines of clown coughing?
He's also crying.
Don't make me cry about Gamzee. Don't make me cry.
No, but honestly, he's been trapped in that fridge for so long.
Okay, but like... I'm just like sitting down and thinking like, what's he gonna be like? Because he hasn't really done anything
You're doing
too
great.
bad
Super
in this
Brothers.
timeline. I
My
guess.
brother's asking what's wrong. I'm just voice acting.
It doesn't matter what he's doing. He deserves to be let out of the
He
fridge.
did. Okay, but he murdered Equius and Nepeta. That's the one thing he did.
Who cares?
He murdered it
you.
because he believed he was
Okay, listen.
God or Jesus or some sort.
No,
Yeah,
it was
he-
because he looked into Cal's eyes and listened to Doc
No, it
Scratch.
didn't make him go crazy. It just proved that his religion was true and that he deserved to, like, murder the lower bloods. That's what it was.
Yeah, but now do you think he cares?
Well, I mean, he's been locked up
Maybe.
for, like, 3 years.
Yeah, we don't know what Gamzee's like right now.
The inner workings of my mind are an enigma.
I love
It's still the same. It's still the same image of a milk curtain falling over, but with Gamzee.
Oh dear, what is it, sir? Tell us what pains you. Let it all out, friend. We're here for you.
I've been a bitch ass naughty motherfucker.
Clivey nods knowingly and pats him on the back.
I've been done some motherfuckers raw. Those motherfuckers, most of all, who I called my friends. I put the straight up fucking harshness at them, and it wasn't motherfucking nice of me.
I don't trust like that.
Not one
I do.
bit. And now I'm all at a mother emotional place from sweating my hard time in the hunger trunk. A fate to which I surely got my deserve on for. And it gave me all the time to rethink my lot and get. My brain's starting to hurt from reading this. And
No, yeah,
get
his heart
considering for what of a right pile of the nastiest garbage I've been my whole motherfucking life. And I got my epiphany going in there. Like all motherfuckers bathed in the righteous epiphany, yo. Pretty much balls out, immersed in the emotion breakthroughs, my good ninjas. And I came to get some of my realizations downright fucking locked.
You sound
Locked
like a
tighter.
fucking fire and brimstone preacher. I can't.
Locked tighter than I was in a bitch in that fridge. And those realizations begin something all motherfucking thusly of sorts. I'm bad man, and I'm here to fucking redeem my motherfucking self. Honk.
Okay, before you get a fucking sympathizing Gamzee motherfucking
I said
Makara,
great.
Not.
Do you-
I'm
Damn
not
the apologist.
sympathizing.
I would like to remind you all of what did to Terezi in Game Over, where in the midst
I'm
of
not
their fight,
Is this the same Gamzee?
Well, I mean, we're going to see what's going
He
to happen.
hadn't
here.
done that yet, but he
this
does have
isn't
the.
Game Over Gamzee. This is one that was basically about to do the same thing regardless. But I would like to remind you that Gamzee, mid-fight, manipulated Terezi by acting all innocent again and be like, "Oh, Terezi, it hurts. Why are you hurting me?"
Your
And then
motherfucking
fucking
hurt
immediately
me.
turned around and
Yeah, I
like
know.
double-crossed her.
Okay, but like. Okay,
I
at this
don't-
point, Gamzee already has been like stealing corpses, right?
Mhm.
I
This
thought
is
he
corpse
only
stealing
did that
Gamzee
because
from
Wait a
he
minute,
was
quick,
free from
wait.
Aranea's control at the moment.
Quick question: weren't there corpses in that the locked hunger trunk?
He only entered
Yes,
that rage
but,
mode because
okay.
of Aranea.
Press.
Oh.
There
Hi,
were.
Katsia, we're streaming, we're reading the epilogue.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You can be Calliope because I suck at it.
Prep.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Where are
Calliope
On page
is a
2.
Gamzee stan. We're
I
on.
can't believe
we're on
Calliope.
page
I
2.
mean, he's technically her dad, so like I
Here.
get it, but also like what?
Tatsuya, here's the link.
I mean, Gamzee is nice to her in particular.
Oh yeah, because like Gamzee's basically her dad.
Yeah.
Wasn't Gamzee
That's
just nice to
literally
both
what I
of them?
just said,
Well,
motherfucker.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Calborn just bit.
Caliburn
Calibur's
is just an
like that.
asshole. Yeah. Well, it's 'cause he's a baby. And
where do I?
He's still an
He
asshole.
fucking
can I-
shot Gamzee.
okay, can I just say something though, right? Like, being Caliborn's gotta suck because he's just genetically evil. Like, and people just have to
Yeah.
deal with that. Like, just the fact that it's like, I think people just don't understand. It's like, oh yeah, no, he was just born this way, and that like, anytime that people like try to like reconcile with him, they just write him off as a douchebag. When it's like, no, that's just how like genetics are.
Fucking racist.
Yeah.
Tetsuya, we're about halfway
And
through Gamzee
people
talking.
shat on his artwork, and then he turned evil
He
and
just
murdered
talked
everyone.
about how he's here to fucking redeem his motherfucking self.
Where is he?
We're at Calliope's eyes closed. Continues with her sympathetic gesture. She pats him on the back, nods very slowly, issues a now and then. Only while he is distracted by his own sobs does she still glance at her phone, tipping the fact that she too wouldn't mind if this the redemptive soliloquy would hurry itself along.
I only talk one more time after this.
Alright, let me get back into this. Alright, take 2. These redemptive fucking Eureka thunderclaps all banging at my think pan. Getting me go all like, boo-hoo, I'm bad. What I'm saying about is, the raw shit I did got some explanations to make you see the truth. The truth that my gnarliness had a motherfucking tent full of root causes you gotta indulge me at. Listen up, my boys and hoes, cause here comes a bunch of noise that morally fucking mitigating.
That's morally fucking mitigating as shit.
Morally fucking mitigating as shit. Honk.
Oh, Jesus.
I've been all like abused and stuff, homies. As a child, I got motherfucking neglected by a stern old fatherly goat. I was a disappointment on him, and I can't say I blame him for abandoning the shit out of his useless kid. I would have motherfucking done the same shit at me if I was the big cruel goat. So that explains, like, pretty sure most of my crimes in a way that makes a motherfucker want to take his forgiveness out for a fucking spin.
Is this a Nuremberg trial for Gamzee and Caliborn?
Is this a what?
Nuremberg trial.
I don't know.
There are other reasons.
I don't buy this shit at all, but please continue.
There are other reasons to consider, like shit that makes this redemption arc fucking tight like an uncracked elixir. Like how my purple blood meant I got the culture pressures put on me to be a salted damn jester for life. What about that hand the Messiah dealt me, my bitches? A motherfucker's gonna envy that like a wicked card rash. So how can I full and truth? I am fucking over my own words because of how hard it is to read this. So how can I full and truly fucking get blamed for when it comes to a little bit of subjugulation I got culturally hornswoggled up to doing and tragically goat abused, which needs to make you shed a tear for this motherfucker, lest you wanna be as atrocious as me.
Could someone tell me what's going on up to this point?
So basically Calliope was like, John, you should like save Gamzee, and then John was like, what the fuck? And then he goes back in time to right before Collide. He gets the fridge, brings it into the future, and they pop him out, and this is what happened.
But what happened before this, or is this?
That's literally all that's happened.
Like the entire candy options bar.
Ah, okay.
Alright, atrocities as being... Okay, there we go. And such is why I'm grabbing hold of my repentance as firm and as serious as I would a whore's titty. That's a sentence.
I grabbed my titty in kind.
I grabbed crab's titty. No.
I'm grabbing my titty.
You better.
My redemption arc is truly the darkest.
Dankest.
The
It says
The
dankness.
dankest. I did not want to read that word as it was wrote.
Wait, is this why it's 420? God damn it.
Oh my god!
My redemption arc is truly the dankest. I mean it hard, and I'm gonna sincere at it like one sad, sorry, bad boy motherfucker. From this day forward, I plan to get my pledge on to be a changed clown. I was thinking he's doing a strong.
I'm Gamzee Makara. I'm 19 and never learned how to read.
I'm new in town. And I'm truly a new ass motherfucker thanks to my new friend.
Isn't Gamzee like technically like in his 30s?
Well, what do you mean? Like,
Well, okay, wait, no, never mind, because
this is 16.
Because Gamzee was slightly older than all of the other trolls, I believe.
Yeah.
Was he? Wait, how many sweeps
Yeah.
was he?
Homestuck wiki help.
But
He's essentially the.
I'm gonna take a small little break from dying.
yeah, you don't have
Gamzee-
too many lines. Go
yeah.
get some water.
Like, drink some water, Press. You're doing great.
Tatsu, you get to say bravo as Calliope.
Bravo.
Fuck. Yeah.
It says 6 sweeps. I could have sworn that there was something about him being older.
No, he's the same. Cause
You're
it's supposed to be like, cause it's 6-12, cause there's 6 sweeps and there's 12 of them.
You're
Alright.
talking about Hagakure, right?
Yeah.
Calliope and... No, shut up. I wasn't getting fucking Danganronpa confused with Homestuck. That's something that I've thought for like way before I even got into Danganronpa.
Okay, wait, I wanted to say something, right? Like, so it's established in the story that, like, the way the retcon powers is that he can go back in time, and no matter what, the timeline will adjust to fit whatever the fuck he feels like. It just becomes the alpha timeline, right? So, like,
So?
If he
now...
abducted Gamzee, then like...
How did Lord English form if Gamzee isn't there? Because he needs to be there in order for the final fight to happen, and for him to
I guess
fuse.
we'll find out.
And if there's no final fight, and if Gamzee isn't there, then... my head. So, like, did they just fix everything?
No, Gamzee, it's a different part of Gamzee that was...
I've returned.
But you
It's
still
a
need at
different
least
Gamzee.
one... You still... No, it's not a different Gamzee.
It's the same Gamzee.
No,
The
like, it's
elixir
different-
of water.
It's a different,
Like
time,
that shit, yo.
like a different time in which they took Gamzee.
No, because he retcons it, so that way it's this Gamzee. Because he, as at the end of Collide, he, the fridge
I don't.
goes in the black hole, which sends him into Earth
How
2.
about we read and we'll see what's going
Are
on?
we sure
Yeah.
though?
How about we just read?
Did we get the
Wait.
Bravo and fuck yeah in there?
That's
from
why.
Calliope?
That's why
Let's
in
try that one more
Caliburn's
time.
introduction, he pops out of the refrigerator, showing off the crowbar, which is from Collide. It's weird.
Let's start from Bravo again.
Oh yeah, we already got a Bravo and a fuck yeah.
Alright. While John's 2 friends are busy hugging it out and arguably the worst person he has ever met in his life, he tiptoes a few yards away from the group and slips his phone out of his pocket. There's only one person in the universe who can truly understand what John's going through right now.
Hey Terezi, you around?
What do you want?
You wouldn't believe what's happening just behind me right now.
I probably would.
No, you wouldn't. Oh wait, no you won't. Just check it out.
Are they FaceTiming?
John discreetly holds his phone over his shoulder and takes a Snapchat of Gamzee sobbing in Calliope's arms. Roxy is beside them, nodding along sullenly.
Holy shit.
I know, right?
He's crying like a little wriggler. Go over and give him a kick in the codpiece for me.
I can't.
John, I'm asking you to do a simple favor for an old dear friend. Do not be difficult.
I don't think that would go over well. Everybody's taking this weirdly seriously. Apparently you're here to give him a redemption arc. Yeah, it's, well, what's there even to say? It's literally the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard, but what can you do?
I mean,
To put back in the fridge and throw it into the ocean is what?
Pretty much.
Why are you idiots even bothering with this fool again?
Don't ask me. This was a Calliope thing.
Oh god.
I guess she roped Roxy into it, so I'm not really sure. So I'm just going along with it too. I don't care actually. I mean, he smells awful, but I guess it's just what's happening now. The asshole clown is back. Life goes on.
It didn't need to though. Not for him at least.
Speaking of life, how's it going out there?
Oh, fine. Pretty boring, flying around and stuff. You know how it is. The search continues.
Any signs of her yet? You've been gone like a really long time, you know.
I'm sure you see it that way. From my point of view, it's a little different. Anyway, no turning back now.
Yeah, I know. Everyone misses you, though. What's that?
What is that?
I think it's an emoji that didn't properly get fucking through.
Yeah.
Wait, what? It's a little Wait,
Just
where are
says Percep.
Let me Google what this is.
Where are you?
It doesn't load as anything. Probably even
Yeah, PSCP. PSCP. What's PSCP?
Gamsey.
Don't worry about it.
You've been gone like
Well,
a very long
that
time
settles
now.
it. I must never return. Sorry, Egbert.
I never should have told you about his shitty redemption arc. I blew it.
Yup. Anyway, gotta go. Next time we speak, you owe me a report of exactly one punch to the clown dick. Bye, dork.
Smiling, he pockets his phone and heads
damn it.
back to the Gamzee pity party. Gamzee's sobbing so performatively that many Carapacian civilians have stopped to watch. By the look on their faces, not a single one of them has ever been exposed to such clown grief. Pulled away from Calliope's embrace, he's now addressing the gathering cloud about the importance of genuine repentance. Calliope comes to stand with John, her hands folded behind her back with and her expression peaceful.
Thank you for this, John.
You're welcome?
Something feels different, but he can't put his finger on.
Literally, Calliope becomes lording.
Oh god. It's Dirk and Jane, babies.
Yay!
Who's gonna
Oh,
play
no.
who?
Can I be
Well, I
Dirk
think I know who I am.
today?
Oh.
Yeah, Cal can be Dirk if they want. Tatsuya. I'm sorry.
I'm Jane.
I wanted to ask if I could be Dirk.
No,
Okay.
I'm kidding. You can,
I
you can
wanted to
whoever
be
you
a
want.
different character other than Gamzee, but okay. I'll play my part.
Hey,
Listen,
I
don't-
never got to be any of the striders
Can narrate.
of the racism of Va.
Oh.
Oh.
We're not talking about
We
that
don't
on
talk
stream.
about-
We're streaming, by the way.
Lit
We're not
at
not
them.
talking about that.
Okay, let's continue.
Tatsuya gets to be Dirk. Yes, something feels very different. Dirk's hands begin to shake so violently that he drops his screwdriver into the chassis of the battle bots he's working on. It clangs around for a bit, landing somewhere that will doubtlessly be very inconvenient to retrieve. It doesn't matter. There's no more time for rap battles or politics or wacky hijinks of an adventurous nature. There's no time left for anything. Moisture beating at his temples, Dirk staggers away from his work friends and braces himself against the wall. His knees are weak, head spinning, palms so sweaty.
God damn it.
I'm gonna.
Yeah!
Dirk, what the fuck?
His knees are weak, palms are sweaty, mom's spaghetti. But the concrete feels smooth under them. He nearly drops his phone while attempting to dramatically auto-dial Jane's number through the haze his translates.
Is Dirk fucking having a heart attack?
Dirk has Jane on fucking, like, auto-dial, though. Like,
Which
I
is
think
really
that's
good.
not like the thing to take notice.
He
here,
knows, like,
Shay.
4 people.
I appreciate it, but he's fucking dying.
Sudorific stupor. Sudorific stupor. Thank you.
Hey Jane, bad news. Cancel everything.
Excuse me, what?
All plans, cancel them. It's over.
What's over, Dirk?
I just told you everything because we're canceling it.
Dirk, are you okay? Are you quite
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, I'm cool.
You sound terrible. It's unlike you to call quits on a paper like this without offering a lengthy diatribe on it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Lengthy diatribes are over too. They're canceled.
Jane gasps out loud, without a hint of irony.
I don't understand.
Don't worry about it. Just do what I say.
He hangs up on her and brings up his contacts so that he can text Jake to cancel all of their televised fights for the foreseeable forever. He then blocks Jane's What? He then blocked Jake's number because if it's not worth explaining to Jane, it's definitely not worth explaining to Jake.
Bollocks.
Then again, nothing is ever really worth explaining to Jake. Jake's number is barely even worth storing in his phone, if Dirk is being perfectly honest. Damn, Dirk, what happened?
Wow,
He being
Jesus.
isolated.
What a
Those-
load of bollocks.
Through the workshop window, Dirk can see the sun touching the horizon. Ah, exquisite. He takes a moment to appreciate the sublime synthesis of the atmosphere and the existential crisis he is currently experiencing. The sun is setting both physically and metaphorically. quickly right now. Not bad, he thinks, then corrects himself, because while there is always time to delight in the vol- vol- volatility of casualty, the whole situation is actually, and for real, causality. The whole situation is actually, and for real, astonishingly bad.
Imagine if Dirk dies in 2 pages.
Big yikes.
Oh boy.
Dirk is dead. Dirk is dying. Dirk
is having a heart attack.
Rose's eyes flutter open to the sound of a heart monitor in the— What?!
Oh, well, okay. That's
Rose's
a big
eyes flutter
jump.
open to the sound of a heart monitor and the sight of featureless white ceiling, fluorescent lights, diaphanous curtains, everything crisp and clean. A hospital? Wait, this doesn't seem right, she thinks. When she closes her eyes, she was dramatically lingering about the bedroom at home. She had just taken a handful of pills and said goodbye to... Who's Rose?
Oh! Well, I got... John!
Shit. I'll do Rose, I guess.
Okay.
Wait, then who's
You want me to
Kanaya?
read this?
I'm confused.
Oh shit, I'm also
I
good.
could be Kanaya.
Yeah, let the crab mother...
Fucking switching this up
I've never read for
completely.
Kanaya.
Hey, do you want me to read
Yeah.
this page so you
Now
can be
for
Rose?
something completely different.
Oh god.
Okay.
Unless y'all want to let Press actually be the narrator.
That's
Alright,
Press
Bryce can be the narrator too.
Press, you want to narrate this page?
I suppose I can.
And then I'm Rose?
I
guess.
guess? I guess we're just changing the cast
gonna
list
be
completely?
fun.
This is weird, alright.
Alright, of course, yeah.
The masks are all on the field, it just depends on who picks them up at this point.
John.
She shoots up in her bed, tugging the IV taped to her under her elbow. Kanaya sitting at her bedside, hemming a sundress. She thins her lips and gives Rose a half-lidded look.
John? I see. Is there something else I should know?
Oh. This is the sort of joke that would have gotten over better if it had not made at this exact moment. With all the distance between them lately, Kanaya's jab lands like a rock plunging into a stagnant pond. Instinctively, Rose raised her hand to her forehead, but there's no pain there. Her head is the clearest it's been in months.
Kanaya, what happened?
Kanaya throws her sewing project aside and sweeps in close, wrapping a cool palm around Rose's arm. Her voice quakes, but retains most of its porcelain decorum.
I came home and found you passed out in front of the load keeper. Your skin was freezing and you were barely breathing.
Oh,
The doctor said that your heart rate dropped below 30 beats per minute, which, as I understand, it is somewhat dire.
I see.
How are you feeling?
Rose considers this for a very long time, eyes fixated on the windows at the other end of the room. The night is dying beyond the thin, pale curtain. She can barely see the moon.
I feel...
She looks back at Kanaya, eyes wide and bright.
Kanaya, I feel... fine.
It's been such a long time since she's felt anywhere in the same ballpark as fine. And that is almost an out-of-body experience, to say the word. She feels giddy.
No headaches?
No headaches, no visions, nothing at all. Wait, is John okay? Where is he? Did he leave?
Leave? Oh no, John's fine. He didn't go anywhere. Except, I suppose, to leave his house for once. Multiple days in a row, even.
Oh.
Rose shuts her eyes and takes a deep breath. For some reason, she's never felt so relieved in her life. She thinks about what she was about to send John off to do, and her feelings of grim urgency surrounding the matter. And yet, for the life of her, she can't bring herself to care about whatever it was she felt was so direly important about his decision.
Oh fuck.
All that matters to her now is that he's safe, in good health, and spending time with those he cares about. And apparently, due to perfectly inexplicable turns of events, so is she.
Oh no.
The door opens to the room. The door to the room creaks open, and in slips a smiling Carapacian, is that what they call him?
Yes.
Carapacian in blue scrubs. Rose listens to Kanaya ask fretful questions about her condition. The nurse responds by tapping her clipboard in a musical rhythm.
Okay, wait. I want to stop here real quick. I think I realized something, right? So, you know how we were talking about, like, meat and candy, which is, like, kind of like character interaction versus actions and death. So what if that's what these are? So because, like, we chose candy, John solves defeating Lord English by just simply saving Gamzee and giving him a redemption arc. But in the other timeline, he would have had to actually battle Lord English.
I mean, we can always test that theory by doing meat next.
We don't know how long candy's gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh, want me to just spam the button and see how far I can get?
This is exciting, though. That's what it seems like, at least.
Fair. Alright.
I love this.
I will continue.
Of course, Homestuck doesn't have a proper ending. It has 2 endings. Fuck.
This is just like RuPaul's Drag Race.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
I'm not gonna ask how that analogy fits in.
It's Cal. It's gonna fit in somehow.
Recently,
Sorry, Tetsuya.
I don't want an explanation.
Recently, RuPaul's Drag Race had 2 winners because they couldn't decide on one because they didn't want to be racist, but they didn't want to rob anyone.
Alright, press everything.
Rose opens her eyes. She stares at the knob of her wrist and frowns. She's not sure why this sensation should be concerning. It's not like her memory is slipping away. She remembers the conversation she had with John this morning quite clearly, as she does the previous years of declining health and troubled, obsessive thoughts about canon, dissipation, and other such abstractions. What's slipping away is the feeling that any of it matters at all. My brain is, for some reason, slipping away at this point right now. I'm so sorry. Was she insane to be so consumed by such lofty concerns? And is she only beginning to experience clarity today for what was the first time in ages? When the nurse leaves, Kanaya puts a hand over her wrist that she is so preoccupied with.
Is something wrong?
It just seems like all of this is quickly, even abruptly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you prefer for your consciousness to continue to disintegrate?
Don't be ridiculous, Kanaya. What I would prefer is to be here with you. Really here with you. For the first time in a long time.
Kanaya tips her face away from the light to hide it in the curve of her shoulder. Rose reaches out and takes her wife's hand in her own. Colder than she remembers.
That's right, they got married in the credits, not the Snapchat, so it's still canon.
Are you crying?
Since when have I been known to cry?
Quite often, actually. It's usually because you're angry.
Well, I'm not angry.
It was hard on you, wasn't it? My illness, combined with all of your duties to the Mother Grub, the pressure of the changing political situation, with all that on your mind, it can't have been pleasant to have come home and take care of me as well. I can see now that it was all terribly unfair to you.
Does Rose have Alzheimer's?
No, Rose was, like, sick because of her powers and she was getting headaches and shit.
Ah.
It was nobody's fault, Rose, so please don't take any undue responsibility onto your shoulders.
Since when have I been known to do such a thing?
Kanaya's lips twitch into a smile, and she laughs sadly. Her laugh forces the tears out. They drip down her perfectly makeup face in thick trails. So.
Oh wait, I just realized something. Rose might be turning into a horror terror.
What? No.
No.
Because it's over now.
Okay.
Like, she's saying, like, the visions and the headaches are gone.
Well, I'm saying she might have been turning into a horror terror.
It's kind of the opposite. Because the whole thing with the horror terror shit was that she was being consumed by them and she was getting all voidy and shit. But like now it's more so that she's so consumed by light that she was getting visions from other irrelevant timelines, like so much information that her head was hurting.
Yeah.
She's getting
Okay.
overpowered.
Time to cry. I really did think I had lost you. It's not that I thought you would die, it's that you felt so far away. What you were going through was something that I could not possibly understand, no matter how patient I was or how deeply I loved you. There was a feeling I couldn't shake that something terrible was going to happen to us. Something that neither of us could stop. A powerful outside force that would take you away from me. And I couldn't stop myself from thinking that maybe that it would be for the best.
Kanaya.
I can see now that this is completely ridiculous.
Kanaya laughs again, gaily this time, as if some terrible dark weight has been lifted from her shoulders. She lets out a thin, shaky breath afterwards. It's like the noise fills the room back up with oxygen. Rose hasn't realized that she's held her breath at all. The shadow hanging over Kanaya's thoughts was hanging over hers as well, but now that she's said it aloud, the darkness dissipates without even ever materializing into its true shape. Rose uses the hem of her hospital gown to wipe the tears off Kanaya's face.
It really is honestly Kanaya. I've never heard such a ridiculous thing in my life.
You are talking to me as if I am a pupa again.
I'm sorry.
No, do not apologize. It has been a very long time since you have had the energy to use such a condescending tone of voice. And as you know, it is one of the things about you I find most adorable.
I can imagine how adorable I've been drifting around the house in a sweaty, drugged-up ghost.
Well, you know how I feel about the careless imbibing of human intoxicants. You were still very adorable. To be tried, there is nothing that could make you not beautiful to me.
What a relief, considering that we are both going to be young and magically fit literally forever.
Wait, no. Kanaya isn't god tier.
Yeah.
But she's Rainbow Drinker.
That's true.
Kanaya presses a snotty, uncharacteristically imperfect kiss to the back of Rose's hand, right beneath where she was wearing her wedding ring.
If you would have me for forever.
Who else? There's no one who understands me like you, Kanaya.
This
No
is
one looks at me
gay.
No one who brings me,
Tetsuya, shh!
no one who brings me back down to earth like with ceaseless, brutal honesty like you. I have no idea what I'd do without you.
You would probably do just fine.
Yes, but I'd be very unhappy.
They smile at each other as the first rays of sunshine peek through the blinds.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
There's
So-
Carcat in the next one.
So
You gotta
Dirk,
let me
Hold on,
so-
choose.
I'm
so
gonna go
Dirk-
grab a stuffed animal real quick.
So Dirk
Alright,
was
time to
dying
invite
as the
Paul
sun
to
went
him.
down, and then as the sun was going up,
Okay, I feel
Rose
better.
was feeling better.
Jade!
I don't think. Wait, was Dirk actually dying?
Jade?
Well, he was having quite like I
What?
don't know. He was having
Dirk
symptoms.
was having
that
a
looked like-
panic attack.
What would you say?
Jade's on the Jade's on the next page. Can I be Jade?
Do you want to be?
I love-
Yeah. Can I be
Oh,
Dave?
please be Carcat.
Can I-
Yes,
You
yes,
let me
yes.
be Carcat.
I want to be
Who's gonna
Dave.
be Dave?
I want to be Dave.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I read this?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
read it.
Tetsuya can narrate.
I'll pass the mask narrator.
The mask.
Give me just 1 second to
These
finish
are just a
crying
bunch of
before I get
masks.
Carcat.
My heart.
Shay.
Everything about that was so visceral.
Hey, Shay.
I'm in so much pain.
Shay, I love
Yeah.
you.
I love you too, son.
Guys, shut up. This
Alright,
is
alright,
literally Homestuck.
Alright, okay, Jade
Yeah,
time.
Come on, guys, let's read about their threesome.
Ahem.
Did you hear that
ready?
John left his house? Multiple days in a row, even.
I hate this.
No fucking way. That's incredible. I've never heard of such a thing. Somebody leaving their house? Stop the fucking presses.
Carcat.
Is it a slow news day in the consort kingdom or something?
Jade finishes pruning a dead bulb off her arum lily plant and flicks it at Karkat's forehead. Then she politely pulls the blinds shut, because God forbid even a silver of sunlight ever infect Dave and Karkat's hive. Jade doesn't live here, there's domestic evidence of her all over the hive. Her plants, her base, her clothes slung over the couch where she sleeps for weeks at a time.
I'm being serious, stump ass. I was really worried about him.
I'm being serious too. I was actually beginning to wonder if John had died. But what the fuck were we supposed to do about it? It's not like he answers the phone.
Well, if you care so much, then maybe don't respond with sarcasm when I tell you he's getting better.
Guys, it's not a competition. We're all worried about John.
Were we? When's the last time either of you tried to hang out with him?
When's the last time either of us left the hive?
Yeah, shut-ins living in a glass hives shouldn't throw a... Actually, if we lived in glass hives, way too much light would come in for Karkat's brutal photosensitivity issues. So we'd probably cover all the walls with, like, tons of curtains and sheets and thick fabric. So I guess maybe we could throw stones? Like, small ones that the fabric could easily absorb the momentum. Also, me and Karkat would probably be too lazy to throw the stones that hard anyway. So I think actually this scenario is pretty workable here. It provides a certain threshold of allowable minimum hypocrisy.
Dave, this sucks.
No, it doesn't. I'm giving a thoughtful and critical consideration of the cliche which is long past due. A glass house which with wall-to-wall curtains created in a slim going in to theorize an incredibly important self-owing buffer. This is a huge breakthrough and also is fucking science. You of all people should appreciate the work that is being done here.
Oh my god. I never thought I'd be thinking of you as my weird nerd friend by the time we were in our 20s.
Yeah, well, neither thought you'd be the premier woo girl on the planet. What are you even doing here with us? Don't you usually spend your weekends at 48-hour interspecies raves or doing your Arctic expeditions with Jake or whatever?
Those two things are not always mutually exclusive.
Oh my god, I would love to hang out with Jake then. That sounds amazing.
So Jade and Jake just have Arctic raves with animals?
That's really good.
I want to see what that looks like.
Someone draw
It looks like I have fan art fuel now.
It's not animals, it's trolls and carapaces.
Well, no, because
They-
Jake and Dirk are rulers of the consort kingdom,
Yeah, they have
which is like all
consorts.
of the consorts, so it's still interspecies.
Wait, do you think they have the like skeleton consorts from the second universe, like the post-scratch?
I don't know.
That'd be nice.
I don't know, that'd be cool. Jam with some bony little dudes.
Hell yeah! Get some glow-in-the-dark
Jade-
paint.
They're playing some Megalovania.
Wait.
Gross.
Have you heard like the rave remix of Megalovania? It's like pretty good.
No.
Yeah, you're narrating.
I know, I said Jade 3 times. Jade floats over to the couch, shooting her two besties a salacious smile. She taps Karkat on the nose as she passes by.
I'm just enjoying my youth. You could be enjoying it too.
She retrieves one of her bras from where it's hanging over the back of the couch. She starts changing it right there, doing that mystical sleight of hand girls seem to be born with the knowledge of, where the bra goes off and then on again without the shirt being removed.
I love
They
her.
did the shirt.
Oh, my queen.
Jade doesn't exactly have the best understanding of interpersonal boundaries, having been raised mostly by a dog, but still, it's a weird, intimate, and uncomfortably close to sexual thing to be doing in front of other people. Dave and Karkat share a vaguely mortified look. Jade sort of lives here, but she doesn't that sort of live here.
No, you're lying. You're lying.
But seriously,
Who
what
would
do
care
you
if
two even
we
do?
took our shirt off and put it on?
But seriously, what do you two even do holed up in here together all the time?
They 69. Oh, Karkat snorts, still pointedly not looking at her.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have you not seen Dave's ill-begotten art empire? He's got his opposable digits stuck in so many double-stacked tusk loaves that even I don't know all his pen names.
Okay, so that's what Dave does. What do you do?
Jade puts her feet on the floor and pads over so she could sling her arms over the back of the couch and lay her cheek on the cushion. The look she gives Karkat is just shy of Diaz. Karkat defensively scuttles to the other end of the couch, where he ends up pressed flushed against Dave's entire left side.
Sit around and play video games all day?
Hey, that's not the only thing I do. I've done laundry.
Once or twice.
Also, what humans refer to as groceries. I do the groceries.
That's not a fucking figure of speech, man. You don't do the groceries, you go out and buy them. And even then, you don't actually do that.
Like, fuck,
Dave puts both hands over Karkat's mouth and does a stage whisper over his shoulder.
He means that he uses the alchemizer in the basement sometimes.
Whose side are you on?
Oh, and when he's in a bad mood, he'll go and yell at the trolls on the internet. Not like trolls as in the troll species, I mean literal trolls who talk shit online. I don't know, a bunch of them could actually be trolls, I guess, but not strictly.
Dave, don't fucking tell her about that!
Dave reaches around Karkat's face to give him a gentle poke in the cheek, and keeps his finger there longer than strictly necessary, smiling the noticeably restrained smile characteristic of Striders. The expression is so warm and blatant that it can't help but draw Jade's attention. She frowns and pushes her glasses up to the bridge of her nose, making some quick calculations in her head. They're so obvious, she thinks, and yet here they are. Virginal losers who are performative about sitting exactly a foot apart. Two bros
In a hot tub, 1 foot apart because they're not gay.
exactly a foot apart whenever they're in public. It's so pathetic it makes her want to howl at the moon in sorrow. What she's planning isn't a seduction, it's a public service.
Holy shit.
It is
So-
yes.
Hold on.
So they're not a couple, they're just really, really, really close.
They're just really gay dude bros who totally don't fuck.
Oh my
I
god.
can't believe. I cannot believe that Jade and Dave and I are about to do a threesome.
Let me pull out the lubricant.
Hey guys, I'm gonna leave the
Oh,
room
yes.
for a quick sec.
You go ahead and get started without me, and that's how Jade tricked Dave and Karkat into having gay sex.
Honestly.
Man, this could have had a little more dog cock. I mean, damn.
Why not?
Yes, ooh, not me, Jade.
Uwu lifts tail.
Ooh, nuzzles, you so warm.
You will read.
Why not?
I'm going to leave. Here I go.
Cyber Dave.
No.
Why not, dude? I think it's cute. He's all on the major political sites, of course, but he spends most of his time going after people who leave abusive comments on my Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff posts. Like, he's got this whole complex network of burner accounts and sock puppets on my homepage set up, so every possible scenario.
Jesus Christ.
It's incredible. He's driven at least 10 people off the site by creating thinly veiled parody accounts of their usernames.
Stop talking about this. My exploits are heroic. Go absolutely fuck yourself.
Karkat shoosh. I'm so proud of you. Couldn't have been done better myself. Well, I mean, I definitely could have, but I have better things to do with my time.
Thank you, Dave. That was heartwarming and not even a little bit embarrassing. Consider my honor undeniably defended.
Actually, Karkat, it's more like you're the one defending his honor. That's so cute. A night white knighting for another night.
Ew.
Dave, it's like Karkat's your adorable little house husband.
What the fuck is a husband?
Yeah, you can come in.
Jade, you're not slick.
I don't think she's trying to be slick.
Dave unpokes his finger from Karkat's cheek and tries to shimmy some space between them on the couch. But there's nowhere to go. Karkat is sandwiched between him and Jade,
As it should be.
who's reaching out to...
Sorry, I read something.
who's
My
reaching
friend's-
out to put 2 fingers of her own at the center of his chest.
Directly in his... never mind.
He bounces them there a few times, enjoying the way troll skin is, just a bit thicker than human skin, taut like the membrane over a poorly maintained drum.
Oh.
A husband?
She begins walking her fingers up the length of Karkat's rectum.
Sternum. It says sternum.
Sternum. Karkat knows damned well what a husband is. He's been force-fed enough bad movies from Dave to pick up any human euphemism you can pop. And he still plays dumb sometimes for comedic effect, to irritate his friends, or simply to avoid a topic of conversation altogether. If he'd known it would only fan the flames of discussion in this case, he would have kept his mouth shut.
A husband is a little like what you both do already, only with certain benefits.
Her fingers reach the hull of Karkat's throat. Oh, just in time
This
to
is literally slutty fanfic.
I've read enough Homestuck fanfiction to back that up.
I didn't say stop.
What kind of benefits?
Don't play dumb, Karkat.
Jade, dude, come on. Leave him alone.
Jade does not come on. She glides her
she
fingers
is.
up under Karkat's chin so that they can rest on his lips, which are a little chapped. Ew. It doesn't take much work to pop them open and slide.
Oh no!
Um.
Oh no!
Slide both fingers in.
If you're really that clueless, I can show you.
Karkat looks like an animal like caught in a trap.
Harley and Cannon.
Oh.
Jade Harley, you what? Jade Harley, horny on.
Oh.
You slut.
Oh.
She's in heat.
Oh god. Oh god. This is weird.
Too many Homestuck hate fanfictions. This is too.
I am going to die.
CJ, this is a canon.
Oh god. This is too fucking horny for me, man.
Let's keep going. Come on, we gotta get through this.
We gotta get through this, guys.
Shut up! His bottom.
Oh wait, okay, it's not that bad. Keep going.
Jade Pop confirmed.
Hey, I'm gonna kill
Oh yeah, she's a huge
you.
top.
Jade is top question mark?
Bottom lip is trembling, where Jade is stroking it with her thumb. It would be pretty easy to mistake his reaction for arousal, so it's understandable that Jade is extremely surprised when Karkat snaps his jaw shut and chomps down on her hand.
Ow!
She flies back, literally spiraling up towards the ceiling so fast that her skirt puffs up. As she gets all tangled in her clothes for a few seconds, she clutches her wounded hand and glares daggers at Karkat, ears flat under her long, dark hair.
Karkat, what the hell?
What the hell? You're seriously asking me? What the hell? Jade, you were trying to choke me to death with your weird, soft human fingers. What were you trying to do? Reach into my chest and pull out my fucking pump biscuit for a midday snack? Is this because you're half bark beast now?
No, I was flirting, you dummy. Oh my god, you two really are hopeless. Why do I even waste my time?
That's a good fucking question.
Jade is pissed, but not enough to leave. Instead, she pops down on the opposite end of the couch and
Let
petulantly
Jade fuck.
on the couch and petulantly crosses her arm.
Jade has two hands.
Karkat, I want to smash.
Karkat just doesn't know what the...
You can put it.
Oh my god, my shoulder.
Might be another bottle in the recycling bin. Jade is pissed, but not. Instead, she pops down on the opposite end of the couch and petulantly crosses her arms. Karkat peels himself off of Dave and slumps into the dip between cushions while settling even more deeply into one of his better practiced pouts. Dave clears his throat.
So, apropos of nothing, just a cool segue into a completely different topic for no reason.
Did you just say apropos?
I don't know.
Apropos.
Apropos?
I don't know.
Apricots.
Apricots.
It's apropos.
I want an apricot now.
Jade and Karkat both stare at him. He makes a casual motion hand. A smooth wrist swivel like he's a turntable scratching one song into the next. That's the effect he's going for, at least.
Did you guys hear that Jane was gonna run for high office?
No fucking way.
Oh wow.
You mean...
Yep, the fucking presidency of Earthsea.
I mean, she's been positioning her megacorp and stocks in a way that looked super suspicious in the last year or so I wondered about it, but I didn't think she'd actually do it.
Nah, she's totally gonna pull the trigger
guys,
on
I
this.
I need to go. Could I pass it off to press?
Yeah.
Love
Can we talk about how this has segued from Jade literally sticking her fingers in Karkat's mouth to them talking about politics?
That's
just
basically me.
What happens when
That's
you're
a big move.
Yes.
Is this what being an adult is like?
Yes.
Yes,
It is
this
not.
is exactly what being an adult is
Yes.
like. Welcome to college, bitch.
Actually, okay, no, that's a lie. That is exactly what being an adult is like.
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah.
all
That
of what an adult
actually-
is like.
All you can
It
eat.
is just like sticking your fingers in someone's mouth, and in the next you're just talking about mundane.
Also-
shit together. It's-
What the fuck, Karkat? Like, look at how fucking sharp his teeth are. Like, Jesus, man.
I was with my friend Michael, and we're really good friends, but I'm very sexual around him. So I just kind of like pinned him to my bed, and then we started talking about Dungeons and Dragons. That's adult life,
That really is.
especially when you're an over sexual like Jade Harley.
Yeah, honestly.
No comment about
God,
that.
I wish I was Jade Harley.
Jade Harley.
I wish I was
as a
Jade.
dog. Oh.
You wish you were a dog, woman.
Yeah, she's cute.
Okay.
I wish
She
I
is
was
cute.
dog woman to draw me anyway.
Hey, since we're at a little
I'm gonna go. Bye.
this opportunity to take a piss.
This
I'll
is
be
this is
back.
our piss break. We going on our piss break.
So I found the end of Candy. I did not read a single thing. I just spammed the button.
How long is it?
41 pages.
Christ!
Jesus.
How did I know it was gonna be 40 something?
I
41
did see
pages.
I
I
did
did
see
not
a few
expect-
words, but that's about it. I like names, and that's all. And I'm not gonna spoil anything.
I hope to God that
I'm just wondering how it got there.
Jade Harley gets those two to crack already.
There is more.
Marry
Jade,
those
and
boys.
I will say that there
Marry
is
both.
the same combination of this color later on, so you'll be able to see more of this.
Yes! Do it, cowards! Do it!
I want Jade Harley.
Alright, I'm gonna...
Fuck Karkat Mantis. Anyway,
She is very adamant about that, like, damn. Oh, I was not expecting something that intense. Ugh.
I wasn't either.
I don't know what to feel about that.
I'm
Um,
concerned about this.
I'm gonna...
I'm back.
I was gonna take a pee break.
Yeah, I just got back from my pee break.
I
Alright,
just really
I'm just gonna mute my mic on here. You guys can continue talking if you want.
Holy shit!
I can't believe that Jade Harley is just really horny.
Jade Harley, horny on Maine.
Honestly, please just fuck those boys already.
It's so much for drawing whatever thing we mentioned before as fan art fuel. I know what I'm.
Honestly,
Oh, yeah.
please, for the love of God, hook me the fuck up.
This
please,
is bueno.
somebody make porn.
Take, like, the pinky picture you made and just put Jade there.
Yes.
Jade fucks.
I can't believe Jade fucks. I can't believe, just like Pinkie Pie, Jade fucks.
Nobody's gonna get that.
Yeah,
No
of course no one's
one's
gonna
gonna
get it. It's like a fucking inside joke.
It's a
But,
me thing. It's literally a me thing.
but Pinky fucks. Jade fucks.
I'm just worried I'm not gonna be able to be here for much, like for any longer later.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm probably gonna. I need to take a bubble bath soon. Like, I don't need to, but I want to because I deserve it.
You do, honey. Yes.
No.
I'm crying.
God. It's so much. It's too much.
This is great. I'm gonna work on the roleplay now. But I made a troll. I refined the old troll stone. Yeah, they're awful. I love them. I like the Lucis more than I like the troll.
Really?
I still need to work on my trolls, but crap, I fixed the new troll's horns.
I have one troll.
Yeah, did you see? Hold on, see. Look at her horns.
Not seen her yet. Hold on, let me.
The new. Well, you've seen her, yeah.
I've
but-
seen her, but
The new horns.
oh hello, yes, queen. I can't.
What's
I'm
wrong?
just honestly really floored right now.
Reciprocate.
I'm
I didn't have to Google that
sitting
word.
here like,
Okay.
hmm.
It's not like I can't
Sitting-
spell, but I can't spell.
Mood.
Also, I had to make sure it meant what I thought it meant. Are those scales or sweat? That's sweat. Okay.
Me right now thinking.
High blood, I require a
Harley
towel.
Just really.
I'd require a towel.
Me.
It's so much.
This is that was way more sexy than I bargained for.
I am not complaining.
This is your 18 plus Homestuck. That it's like, listen, if you started reading this fucking when you were a baby, you're probably an adult now, so this is allowed, I guess.
Yeah.
It's fucking probably weird though, because there are fans in the fandom right now.
I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about the children reading this.
But if it makes anything any better,
Oh my god! I'm definitely not reading something else. I'm just checking how long this thing is, and it is long. I'm trying to look at meat right now. Trying to see how long meat is.
You're looking at meat?
You want to see that long meat?
Yeah, you want to see that meat.
It is more than 14-inch meat right now.
I feel like we've really set the tone for this, you know?
What was the stupid meat candy jokes that Cyber made? It was great.
The tone right now is just going absolutely apeshit.
Oh, it was. Oh my goodness, what the fuck
Will
is
you
that?
eat my meat if I suck your candy or something like that?
Yeah, no, it was like, yeah.
I feel like that was really apt opening for this. Little did we know we would be here in 2019.
Yeah, hold on,
Jade
put that
Harley
in.
really wants to fuck those boys.
She is a tool. She is making herself a tool for the gay to happen, so she can fulfill her yaoi ships.
No, don't do my girl dirty like that. She just loves them. Don't do that.
What the fuck is going on?
I guess we might see the fulfilling of that tag in the content warnings of polyamory.
Context quotes literally everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean 2 chats.
I'm gonna read the fucking tags again to see if threesome gets there.
Holy, yeah, there was polyamory.
Polyamory is, but
honestly, I thought they had like.
What the absolute fuck am I looking at?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do the same.
go beyond god tier. It's like, yo, Carcat, listen. I know a way that we both can become even more powerful beings than we are currently. It's like, what's that, Dave? It's like, we have to not fuck till we're 30 so we can become wizards.
But like, okay, question, like, does that mean that like once we get to the age of 30, we can just like go at it? Because a bitch needs to get paled. I'm just telling you that right now. Okay, sorry. Anyway. Alright, man. I mean, like, if this is what you really want, okay, I guess. I mean, we both know that magic isn't real anyways, but, like, I guess I can, like, stick around for the fun of it, for the theoretical idea that this might actually possibly be something. Okay, but you owe me exactly 1 good dicking after we're 30. Great. Harley!
Yip. Yiffing time?
Yiff me, Harley.
Of course, my Carcat.
Yiff me directly into the sun.
Are you ready for gay sex?
Abso-fucking-lutely. No?
Oh, the fucking... Are you ready for gay sex? Yes, my gayness. Here I go!
Oh, no.
It feels so gay!
Oh, no.
And they're on the
I'm
stage.
gonna die. That's fucking terrible. That's terrible. That's what it's gonna be.
Can we? Is everyone back? Can we keep reading?
I kind of need to pee.
Why didn't you pee?
Why didn't you piss when everybody else was?
I'll pee later.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You could probably go unless you like you could like read on your own time.
Can I
I don't
just-
know because you don't have any parts here.
Can I just say that
I want
fucking
to finish.
that fucking meat is a train wreck? I'm just checking to see how long it is, and boy howdy, there's some visuals.
There's visuals.
Well, no, let's just say there's no black text.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh my.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Alright,
Please
where did
do.
we leave off? I
Where
don't
did we
know.
leave off? Yeah.
I don't know.
Something about the presidency of Earth.
We were a
Yeah,
little
you
bit
guys
into that.
are-
Let's
you
pick
guys
up
are
that.
on-
No,
you
she
guys
was
are at the
totally gonna
part-
pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Thank fucking god. That would have been a complete disaster. Really? The economy? That's what you think is bad about it? Okay, so let me get this straight. Your priorities are number 1, the economy, which let me remind you is built entirely on infinite fake money that we can make as much of as we want. Number 2, the potential genocide of my people? Whatever you say, Dave, not xenophobic Strider. Sure, man. That doesn't sound like something a xenophobe shithead would say at all. What? Don't change the subject, xenophobe.
As Jane.
What the hell is going on?
Okay, dude. Is that why they haven't fucked? Are you scared of my weird alien dong, Dave? Is that why you won't love me? Great people? Is that all I am to you?
Well, I hope she gets a better hobby. There are a lot of these less ominous things she could be doing with her time.
What? Like fucking her way through half the population of Earthsea?
Who's narrating?
Duh, I'm sorry. I thought you guys were going even more. Jade pinches her ear and twists hard, smiling pleasantly.
Get fucked, Carcat.
Then fuck me already, because obviously Dave won't.
Okay, this next page. Oh, Jake.
Whoever's gonna be Jake, get ready for me to hate you unreasonably.
I can take narration back.
All right.
Who wants to be Jake?
By the way, I reached the end of Meat. Meat is 44 pages long. So they're very long, and I won't be able to be here.
God damn. No one is
Hilarious.
No one is answering the door to Dake's mansion, so Jane let herself in. There is almost no crime on Earthsea, and so almost no one locks the door. In fact, most doors do not have locks, which has been terribly unfair to the struggling locksmith industry. Once at John's 18th birthday, Dave Strider engaged Jane in a shockingly aggressive debate about the economy, in which he accused her of supporting neoliberal corporate welfare. For pointing out this exact problem, which was, well, such a baffling incident that Jane is still thinking about it is still thinking about it at absolutely random intervals 5 years later. She has an honorary business degree from almost every university on the planet. Dave hasn't even finished middle school. What does he know about the effective and ethical rigors of corporate bailouts? Well,
Yeah.
Well, Jane thinks with a heavy sigh. Well, Jane thinks with a heavy sigh. Now that she's not running for president, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Jake?
Jane feels rather like a princess in an animated film with the way her voice echoes up the 3 flights of circular staircase. The mansion is dark and cramped. Tall, narrow halls, Gothic arches, rooms stuffed in all corners with kitschy junk. Kitschy. Jake has a kitschy. Jake has a taste for velvet paintings and fox antiques candelabras, which mesh less than harmoniously with the backdrop of his paisley wallpaper. Blue light filters in from the stained glass windows on the top floor of the foyer, where depictions of cerulean sirens lounge against surprisingly tasteful modernist backdrop. Jane calls his name again, lifting her skirt so that she can climb the stairs one step at a time. From the second floor, she hears a sudden awful noise, boots scraping against wood, glass shattering, hard objects hitting the wall, and the unmistakable roar of a rifle firing. She sprints the rest of the staircase and runs down the hallway, clack, 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 in her expensive but understated kitten heels.
You can fly. Okay. Jake, where are you?
The big oak doors at the end of the hallway swing open, spilling orange lamplight into darkness. Jake steps out, looking ruffled but handsome in corduroy shorts and a dress shirt buttoned up to the mid-sternum. I'm a little congested right now, so
They do. They like their sternums.
Where's the sternum?
Husty has a sternum cake.
Oh, okay.
There is a smudge of gunpowder on his cheek. His whole face lights up when he sees Jane.
Are you alright? I heard a horrible noise. What was all the racket?
Jake grins and holds up his rifle, which is still smoking from the muzzle. He kicks the door all the way open, behind him to show what's up. A circular sitting room festooned with Christmas lights and and paper targets, all of which look as if they have been hit many times with bullets. There is a battle bot hanging out of the fireplace in the back, holding an armful of bottles and surrounded by a sea of broken glass.
You do this inside the house?
He looks at her like she's the stupid one. Jane's mouth opens, and then hangs there for a moment as she decides whether or not this particular conversation on household proprietor... I can't say that word, I'm sorry. It is worth having. Sometimes Jake simply cannot be blamed for the foolish things he does. After all, he literally grew up in the woods. Instead, she enters the room and takes a seat in one of the ostentatiously cushioned... cushioned chairs, careful to step around the puddles of cracked glass. Jane rests her temple in her palm. Jake grabs another one of his ridiculous fake Victorian chairs by the back and swivels it around so that he's sitting across from her.
By the way, that word is bergère.
Thank you. Bergère chairs.
I can't say that.
I can't say normal words, so it's hard pass.
Have you talked to Dirk lately? Yes. It seems that we're in the same boat. Then. I haven't heard from him. I stopped by his workshop, but it was locked. If he was in there, he wouldn't come out.
Dirk was the one person on Earthsea who took the state of the locksmith industry with the seriousness it deserved. Jake scoffed and flopped his hands. Both actions are dismissive.
Yes, but not like this. It's been years since he's done a full blackout on us. I'm terribly worried.
Temporally. Yeah, Tommy Rod.
You seem rather cavalier about this. Like, even more cavalier than you usually are.
Jake laughs, all uneven, and runs a hand through his attractive trussel hair.
Tommy Rod means rubbish. Huh.
You're what?
We can tell this is from Jane's perspective, because every time they're describing the way Jake looks, it's supplemented with attractive.
Yeah.
Which is something I am fully convinced Jake is not.
Yeah.
He makes a motion like knocking back a bottle. Jane side-eyes the idling BattleBot, flushed with empty wine bottles, then side-eyes Jake.
First thing in the morning?
He's drunk.
He's drunk.
Yeah.
He's firing.
Jane frowns and leans forwards on her knees so that she can examine Jake more closely. She sees it now, the unspecifically precise movement that comes from overcorrecting drunken body language, the unfocus of his eyes. That was very detailed thesis he had on Dirk's potential psychology, almost like he had been given a good think. She knew that Jake and Dirk were not officially together, but had not been for some time, but their lives were still inexorably intertwined, on basically every level for some reason she did not understand. One might even codependently. No matter what he said, this had to be affecting him as well. Jane let out a fluttering breath.
You know what, Jake? You're right. It truly would be erased. What did I just say?
She pushes out of the chair and goes to retrieve one of the unopened wine bottles sitting over the fireplace. They're all screw tops because Jake isn't that classy. In fact, he isn't classy at all. His veneer of classiness is about as authentic as off-brand Halloween mask. But Jane has no idea why she can't get him out of her system, even after all these years. She braces herself on the mantel and knocks her head back, taking a long, uninterrupted swig right from the bottle.
Chug, chug, chug. Chug,
Jane
chug.
keeps gulping. She drinks until she can't stand it, then breaking off, shaking her head, and letting out an ungrateful hiss. Cully, that's cheap Merlot. Merlot.
Merlot,
yeah.
Merlot? I don't know.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know it's French? There's not a fucking
You know that
annotation there
good.
that says this word is French, don't say the fucking T. Her vision is already swimming. Spilling a bit of the wine on herself, she spins around and to stare at the silent BattleBot. It's got its hand out, waiting for her to hand over the bottle.
Could you leave us alone, please?
The BattleBot tips its head at her and with a click whir and then looks at Jake, who traitorously offers exactly zero backup. Dejectedly, the bot shuffles its way out of the room, but not before dropping every single one of the bottles it was holding, so it makes as much noise as possible when hitting the floor. It slams the door behind it. Yes, Jane thinks. Scorched earth policy that robots was indeed programmed by Dirk Strider. Jake is staring at Jane wide-eyed behind his spectacles.
Actually, no, I'm quite not.
She staggers back into her seat and takes another swig of disgusting wine.
I canceled my presidential bid. I was so incredibly chuffed about it, Jake, but Dirk called me just before his disappearance and told me to cancel everything. And so,
Jane puts her
I
face in her
canceled
hand miserably.
I canceled everything.
Jane looks up at Jake from between her fingers and under her bangs.
Well, yes, I suppose that I could run a successful presidential campaign on my own merits, especially since Dirk and I developed most of our strategy together. But now that I've pulled out, I just can't go back and tell them I've changed my mind. That would be so embarrassing. So it would look all wishy-washy. I can see the headlines now calling me a terminal flip-flopper. Also, somehow it just doesn't seem right without Dirk.
Jake pries the wine bottle from her hand gently and takes a drink less gently.
Mm.
He sounds a little bitter. Jane blinks at him.
I hadn't thought about it that way, but yes, ever since I talked to him, I felt strange.
Her whole body is numb and bloody. Sure, she chugged the wine, but it's strange to have gotten drunk so fast, isn't it? Especially since she spends several nights a month drinking much harder and fancier drinks as investor dinners. Jake passes the bottle back and then she takes another drink.
Strange like you just explained, like nothing I do matters. I should be more upset that I've spoiled my chance at running for president, but for some reason I find myself not really caring. And that's what I'm actually so upset about. The fact that I don't care. Instead,
When did Jake scoot his chair closer? They're sitting packed so tight now that his bare knees are brushing hers. The air between them is warm and wine-soaked. I don't like this. Jane takes another serious look at him, at his elegant jawline, his dark eyelashes, and his handsome nose. It really is unfair that he's so good looking while also being so Jake. But this is nice, she thinks. When was the last time they talked? Really talked? It's been such a long time that she's almost surprised at how good he's being to her right now, considering that she walked in on him in peak English disaster mode. Was it always this easy to talk to him? Maybe because of the wine, and maybe just because she wants to. Jane reaches out and sets a hand on his thigh. She leans closer until she can feel his breath on her face.
puts hand on Jake's thigh. Hey. Like the Spider-Man. Hey.
Why are the Harlingleberts just so horny?
Harangle? Is that really what people call Harangleberts? Alright, I can get behind Strylons because it slides off the tongue and is easy to say, but Harangleberts?
Yeah. You've never heard that?
I've never heard that.
Harlingleberts? It doesn't.
Harlinglebertalker.
Fuck you,
What's
Jane.
up?
No, I'm kidding. I love Jane.
Yeah, heck, Jake. Oh, this is mortifying to admit, but I've been thinking that perhaps I've been doing this whole wrong thing with my life. Instead of all this business potlicking I've been doing, what I really like is to just settle down and raise a family. Doesn't that sound a bit ridiculous? Oh, you still remember that.
Jane feels herself turn red. She did think, why did she think this would be so easy? Jake English was kind of a I need to take a moment to Jake English was kind of a slut, true, but also their relationship was an emotional minefield. She slides her hand down to cup his knee, rolls her thumb into the dip of the joint there, and tries to remember the drunken advice on matter of seduction Jade gave her once when she was foolish enough to take a weekend off and go on one of her and Jake's expeditions. She can't for the life of her remember the substance of any of her lessons, though. Jake is still staring at her, drunk and unraptured. She ventures deeper into his personal space. This really is the equivalent of trickster mode where everyone just tries to fuck.
Except this is just drunken mode.
I'm uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yay! Well, Jake, it doesn't always have to be that way. Putting business first, ignoring the good things in my life, chasing profit, I'm sick of it. I think that I could be loving. I could be a good wife. For the kind of man who needs a good wife in his life. Like, say, an eligible bachelor with a... Oh my god, I keep going into silly, and I'm trying to, this is my Jane voice. I swear to God. Empty around his house and no one to help clean them. Who has been recently and mysteriously abandoned... I'm just gonna use my regular voice. Abandoned by his long-term companion, or whatever he was. Someone handsome and lonely who knows well enough that we need to not fear showing each other less savory sides. Such as being drunk at 9 in the morning. Oh, Jake, isn't that the dream?
Jake slants close, casting a shadow over her face. His eyes are so green, and they're glittering with naked adoration for her. It's all for her. He nudges a knuckle under her chin and tips her face towards... He's so close that Jane thinks he might kiss her. She shuts her eyes and lets his husky wine breath wash over her face. Instead of kissing her, he says... Jane's mouth drops open. What was she expecting? But Jake doesn't register her mortification or frustration either. He just keeps smiling and gazing into her eyes, warm and drunk.
Well, then...
With a deep sigh, Jane shoves Jake off of her, stumbles back to where his horrendous-tasting wine is stored. She pops open a bottle of briny-smelling Moscato and tips it back. This embarrassing encounter isn't going to forget itself.
Oh, honey. I just feel bad, not for Jane necessarily, because she really needs to move on to greener pastures. She's been over 10 years. She's been given so much opportunity to find literally anybody else. He has never once been interested in her and is constantly telling her no. She needs to stop being
Jake
fuck and let the fuck off.
Asexual!
No shit.
Jake is dense. Partly.
All the sexualness went to Jade. Out of the two of them. Yeah.
I would like to think that Jake totally knew that she was talking about him, and he was like, oh shit, quick dodge it, act stupid.
Yeah. He's not that dense. Jake is dumb as shit, but he knows. He knows that Jane is in love with him, but, anyway. He doesn't. Yeah. Okay. Are we reading more, or?
It's 2 o'clock for me, and I gotta get ready for
3. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I think we might stop.
I also realized Gamzee's on this page, and there are some things he says.
let's leave chapter 7 for another time.
Yeah.
Page
Oh
7.
my. We can read.
There's
wanna read
40
more,
pages
too.
on both. 41 for candy, 44 for meat. Do you want to stop? Do you want to stop
We should
recording and then I can tell you about it? What I saw?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright,
Okay.
bye, kids.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right. So you